This is my new EVE Ironman character. He's the only shot I have at getting my main back. No help from the player market or other players. The goal? Earn 750 points in every air career path, or my main stays locked forever.
No, stop! What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Here we go.
Why are you the way that you are?
I've officially paused the skill queue of my main character, Lynn Rankin, and logged out. She's now under a kind of digital house arrest. I can't log in, can't do anything with her until I complete a very specific and very unforgiving challenge. Enter Mainless Mike. The man, the myth, the mustache. Mike is the new capsuleer on the block, and the entire weight of this challenge now rests squarely on his broad, freshly generated shoulders. The mission, simple in concept, brutal in execution. Complete the entire air career program completely self-sufficiently. No help from players, no help from the player market, no support from other players, no alts, no shortcuts, just Mike, alone in the void. And if he fails, Lynn Rankin stays locked forever. Now, before we dive in, let's lay out the rules. These are also listed in the pinned comment for reference. Rule 1. Main character is locked. Lynn's skill queue is paused indefinitely, and I'm not allowed to log into her at all. She's effectively in stasis until the end of the challenge. Rule 2. No help from other players. This is a solo operation. No fleets, no trades, no contracts. No outside assistance. And since Mike is on the same account as Lynn, I also can't take advantage of the usual 1 million skill points new players can get when they set up their account with a recruiter. Rule 3. Player market is off limits. I cannot buy or sell anything on the player-driven market. If I need a ship or module, I have to build it, loot it, or otherwise earn it. I can interact with the NPC market for basic stuff like skill books, blueprints, and some trade items, as long as the order is from an NPC. Rule 4. No joining player corporations. Mike is on his own until the air career program is complete. Rule 5. Omega status is allowed. However, no other premium rewards, packs, or external handouts are permitted. If I didn't earn it in-game, I don't get to use it. Rule 6. No pod express. I'm not allowed to self-destruct to move across the map. Every journey must be flown the hard way. And most importantly, complete all 4 air career paths with 750 points each. That's the goal. Hit it and Lynn Rankin walks free. Don't hit it and she stays frozen forever.
No pressure.
So here we are, Uitra, or is it Itra? Somebody tell me if I've been pronouncing it wrong for 14 years. Seriously. Fittingly, Uitra is where I first started playing EVE almost 14 years ago. It's poetic that this is where the fate of my main once again hangs in the balance. The first order of business, the starter career agents. These are essential. They offer free ships, basic modules, and a solid foundation for each career path. They're also a great way to knock out early objectives across all 4 career paths. I set up my initial skill queue with a rough plan in mind. Since EVE is a time-based progression game, the order isn't super critical early on for level 1 to level 3 skills. I'm avoiding the Magic 14 skill plan because it's considered community guidance and I'm not accepting player health, even indirectly. We're kicking things off with the Enforcer path. It's combat-focused, straightforward, and gives us a chance to stock up on loot. I'm looting everything I can, and once I earn a salvager module from a mission reward, I start using it immediately to scoop up extra material for future production. Let's get into it. Cue the music. Mission complete. And we get a shiny new Merlin. With the first Enforcer mission behind us, we've already scored our first big win, a Merlin frigate. This little ship is going to be our workhorse for a while. All right, our first major unlock.
no loot. That's okay. Time to dock. Alright, so we got some decent loot. Decent for us, starting out.
After knocking out the rest of the Enforcer missions, I outfit the Merlin using only gear from mission rewards. Remember, no interaction with the player market. That completes our first major milestone, Enforcer Career Agent missions done. Off-screen, I also began the Explorer path while chasing an Air daily goal. The Explorer missions are shorter than the others, and I finished them fairly quickly. That's 2 paths cleared already, Enforcer and Explorer. The Industrialist path is split into 2, Producer and Entrepreneur. I start with Producer, since it provides access to a venture mining frigate and helps us gather some raw materials through the missions.
Alright, so we've collected all the ore that we... Where did we get this? Was I supposed to use that for the exploration? Since we have some downtime, what we're going to do is we're going to start on Project Discovery.
At this point, I also dive into Project Discovery. It's a brilliant low-risk way for me to earn ISK and also takes off several Explorer goals in the Air program.
Alright, we made it to
Olo.
complete this mission. Now time to go back to Uicha.
While running producer missions, I take a few detours to mine Veldspar and Scordite for minerals, which feed into future production goals. I also venture into a nearby 0.6 system to mine Pyrocheres.
Ah, this feels good to find. We might not be able to have the time for it. We'll see. Okay. I hang on as long as I can. Once I'm down to about half shields, I'll get out of here. Time to get out of here. So we've got quite a bit of pyroxes. That's going to take care of us for a little bit. And there we go. Can I send an EVE mail to myself? Does that count? Yeah, it does. All right. 49,000 units of Veldspar collected. So, this is ready. We can go ahead and complete that mission. A little bit of a detour. A lot of bit of a detour, but that's okay. We should be getting a hauler from one of these missions here soon. Ooh, Kernite. I need to come back to this site. I need to mine as much of this as possible.
And during a mission, I come across a pocket of Kernite, an isogen-rich ore. This is a huge win. Normally, you'd need to risk 0.5 or low sec to get isogen. This lets me avoid that entirely, at least at this stage. It's just enough to check off a goal and get a decent starting stash.
Oh, that would be wonderful not to go to low sec just yet. All right, there we go. We've gotten all the Kernite we can from this site, and now we can deploy light drones. Ooh, I got a medium shield extender from somewhere.
Of course, the challenge keeps me on my toes. While doing an industrialist mission, I'm asked to provide a Bantam. I nearly waste my hard-earned isogen building one.
All right. Use blueprint Do I have enough material? No, I need Mexilon and Isogen. It expects me to buy it, but I'm not going to give it the pleasure of doing that. Okay, let's go ahead and reprocess this. Is that enough Mexilon? Yes. We just need to build one, right?
Only to realize the mission just wants a Bantam, not a freshly built one. I got one from an earlier mission.
Oh, actually, we don't even need to build it because we got one for free.
Crisis averted, Isogen saved. With the producer missions wrapped up, that's another major milestone. And not just that, we've now earned 750 out of the 3,000 total Air Career Program points, unlocking a huge reward, 100,000 skill points to allocate. On top of that, I've gathered a stack of free Air Expert systems, which I will be using. I earned them. They're fair game. Next, I tackle the entrepreneur missions. These go by pretty quickly. Once those are done, it's time for the final path, Soldier of Fortune. This one's a bit more dramatic. It's designed to simulate the brutal nature of PvP, loss, and high-risk gameplay. And it more or less feels like a higher stakes PvE, so whether or not it does a good job is debatable, but it does include 2 required ship losses. One Griffin gets thrown at a space station in a kamikaze mission, and we've lost our second ship, yay. And a Merlin is sacrificed in a survive as long as possible scenario. Luckily, the ships are provided by the mission, so I'm not losing anything I've earned. Still, it stings to walk away empty-handed from those missions in the way of ships. Alright, follow the instructions from the Concord Fleet Commander and bring the hostage situation to an end. Oh, is this the prison?
Now let's go to prison!
After those, a quick prison break, some pirate cleanup, and boom, Soldier of Fortune complete. And roughly 8 hours later, with some side questing, we are done with the Air Career Agents. Let's take stock of what we've accomplished. Starter Enforcer Agents, done. Starter Explorer Agents, done. Starter Producer Agents, done. Starter Entrepreneur Agents, done. And Starter Soldier of Fortune Agents, done. We've completed all of the career agent arcs and hit a massive gear milestone. Our current stockpile includes 2 Merlins, 2 Ventures, 1 Heron, 1 Cormorant, 2 Badgers, and a decent pile of salvage, minerals, modules, and air rewards. So what's next? We've got gear, we've got skills in the queue, and we've got some momentum. But what we don't have yet is a home. It's a new day, and Mainless Mike is back in action. We begin with the Air Daily Goals. Easy hits for ISK and bonus skill points. First task, mine 2,000 units of ore. I hop into the Venture and head out to a quiet belt. So I enjoy a calm, productive start. With mining done, I switch to the Merlin to complete the next daily. Destroy 25 NPCs. I run a few belts, clean up a handful of weak rats, and collect the loot. Smooth and effective. Looking at the skill points we gathered from milestones and dailies, I consider salvaging. It's going to be good to get this level up a little higher and going to help us salvage more quickly as the salvage starts piling up. I open the skill panel, right click on salvaging, and I dump 100,000 skill points into salvaging level 4.
You disrespect yourself and your nation. You are made of stupid.
What a dumbass move. Oh, I thought it was just gonna say how many were remaining, not how much it was taking up. I need to read.
Oh wait, I can't read.
Even though that was not an ideal way to spend 100,000 skill points. Those skill points could have been spent a little bit more wisely, being spent on multiple skill levels instead of a single skill level, but salvaging level 4 is going to help us in the long run, although I should have taken a second to consider what I was doing before committing the skill points. We are still going to make the best of it. So I decided to test out the expert systems to see if it can help. I've never used these before, so I don't see a time limit on these.
Would you look at that?
These only last 3 days.
And there's a time limit. So I only get temporary access to certain skills, so it's useful, but not. Lesson learned. I know what expert systems do now. I've never interacted with them before.
First time.
So maybe not the end of the world. Still, I did not want to use all of the 100,000 skill points I got from last episode.
Next step, we need a new home. Uitra's been good, but it's time to move closer to better agents and low sec space. I scout the map, and we have several criteria. We are looking for a 0.6 or 0.5 solar system that has access to level 1 mission agents and is within a stone's throw of low security space. So with that criteria, I settle on Poinen.
Okay, so Poinen looks like it's going to be the best option. It's a little further away from low sec than I would want. I would have to day trip to low sec if I need any ores or anything. That shouldn't be the end of the world for us, a little day tripping.
Before relocating, I fit up my Badger and I do some NPC order trading so that way I can get some industrialist goals going for the Air Career Program. Buying and selling from NPC buy orders, I complete another goal on the career path. From there, I pack up. I don't have any rigs yet, so I don't have to worry about those breaking down. So I move from Uritra to Poinen. Ships, fittings, and the loot I've gathered so far. This will be our new forward base for launching the rest of the Ironman challenge. Will we potentially have other homes? Sure, but for right now, this is home. After settling into Poinen, I dive into some combat anomalies in the area to gather some loot. Midway through, an Orthros appears and finishes the site before I can complete it.
Orthros, huh? Let's see if he's trying to steal the site.
Since the Orthros got most of the kills, I can't collect most of the loot.
Duh.
But I can salvage from the kills that I did get. It turns out to be just enough to reach 1,500 skill points across all of the air career paths, earning another 150,000 skill points. This time I spend them much more wisely across multiple skills. After that little win and hit of dopamine, and noticing how close I am to actually finishing our first career path, the Industrialist, I call it a night.
The next morning,
I get started right away on mining some pyro. I need to mine and refine 16,000 units to complete the air career path for Industrialist. Plus, I could use the material from the pyro.
Perfect.
We mine the 16,000 units, and then some, dock up, refine them, and our first air career path is fully complete.
There we go. Industrial path completed.
We have met 1/4 of the challenge goal. This was always going to be the easiest path, since industry is baked into the Ironman style, but it's nice to have it done. However, we now hit our next bottleneck, Noxium. This is why I chose Pointer. It's near enough to low security space that I can day trip, and it has 0.5 systems that directly border the low security space, meaning that if I'm lucky enough, I can find some rare anomalies that have the low security space ore. Today I checked those systems, but no luck. That means it is time for me to dive into low security space. With my directional scanner ready and my finger over the warp button, I jump into low security space for the first time with Mainless Mike. And I try looking for Jaspet. I find a Jaspet anomaly. Okay, I need to get myself over on the other side so I have a clear alignment. A little bit more, a little bit more. I begin mining, but Garista NPCs show up. And of course there's rats. And jam me. I can't fight the cruisers, and I can't mine at the same time because I'm jammed. So I have to retreat. All right, we dived into low sec. Well, that didn't work quite like I wanted it to. Back in Pointed, I focus on being productive while I think of different ways of tackling the low security space challenge. I take on my first level 1 missions from Kishida with internal security to earn ISK, loyalty points, and loot. All right, that takes care of that. Time to loot and salvage. Easy. Man, imagine if I had the civilian salvager still instead of this regular salvager. There we go. All right. There is a rogue drone there.
He shall be my squishy.
A single little rogue drone. Oh, that's a lot. That should take care of that. Used up a lot of ammunition. Let's start salvaging. I grind missions for about an hour, then decide it's time to head back to low security space. This time, when I show up to the Jaspet anomaly, the rats are rogue drones.
Hello, motherfucker.
They don't have the ability to jam, so my plan is to mine some Jaspet while chipping away at some drones, warp out when I get too low, and come back. Okay, this gives me something I can orbit, so I can keep up transversal against these drones. Keep spamming D-scan, watching. Frigates and destroyers this time. I have 0 lock range. Jackdaw. I don't like that. Okay, it left. Okay, there's this Thrasher. Where is this Thrasher? Within 10. Okay, that Thrasher is there. Okay, I'm pulling drones. I am going to come back to this spot. Okay.
He needs some milk.
Heart is pounding. I need to deal with those rats. So let's dock up, repair.
Docking permission requested.
There's no repair services in either of these stations. What the heck? Okay, I'm gonna have to go back to high sec. All right, we know where... Oh.
You clumsy pilot.
I don't think he was meaning to die in whatever he was doing. So now there's no Thrasher to worry about. That feels good. Let's clear out these rats. Okay, I have to pull the drones. All right. This is just going to be our dance for a little bit.
This is it. This is my life now.
Oh shit!
Time to run. 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 Time...
I was just leaving.
Okay, don't go to that station. Eventually, I'm able to get rid of the rogue drones, and I'm able to mine uninterrupted. With my first full load of Jaspet, I take that over to a nearby high security space system, and I go back for a second load. But new NPCs spawn, and it's the Charistas again. And they jam me again. That ends the trip. Still, I return to Point In with 1.5 venture loads of Jaspet, which gives me enough Noxium to craft the modules and ammo needed for the next leg of our challenge, Enforcer. With that, we have one career path officially behind us. We dipped our toes into low sec and came out with a temporary solution to our Noxium issue. And our destroyer has been broken in with some level 1 missions. Next time we take on the Enforcer path. But something unexpected happens when I take on this path. We start off with scouting the 0.5 systems bordering low-sec to see if we get lucky on those ore anomalies, but still no luck. So I complete a manufacturing daily with the intent to get 25 NPC kills later while doing level 1 missions. Also, between episodes, I discovered an unlikely, inefficient, but timely solution to our Zydrine and Megasite shortage, which we need in order to produce some of our modules for the Explorer path. Implant reprocessing. Using loyalty points from internal security, we trade for implants that can be broken down into just enough of these null-sec minerals we need. Is it ideal? Not at all. But right now, it's about what works, and it works. This will help us build items like relic and data analyzers. Before we continue, I want to go over what type of Iron Man this is, since I've been seeing a lot of comments thinking the run is over if Mainless Mike dies. I am mostly going off of old school RuneScape format for Iron Mans. In addition to the rules from the first episode, listed on screen if you want to pause and catch up to them, It mentions nothing about death, so let's clarify that. If Mainless Mike loses a ship or his pod, he is still in the game, since this Ironman mode is equivalent to a standard Ironman from OSRS. Now, if you have any ideas on what a hardcore or ultimate Ironman goal would be, leave your suggestions in the comments. I am looking to do a hardcore or ultimate Ironman series in the future, and the goal that you suggest may be masochistic enough for me to try it. Also, I haven't done anything yet, but I'm interested in working with other Ironman to create more of a standard moving forward beyond these series of what an Ironman looks like. I am hanging with the Corvette to Cinnable community and the Ironman there, but I think it would be cool to have a larger collective community of Ironmen sharing and creating ideas together. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Back to Mainless Mike, we get started on some level 1 missions for internal security. We need the loyalty points for the implants we can reprocess. We're getting comfortable with the Cormorant, but to push harder and to take on a challenge later in this episode, we need better capacitor stability. That means shopping.
Hello guys. Today we have a list of top 5 shopping carts.
The NPC buy orders for a capacitor flux coil can really only be found in a few locations, and one of them happens to be Jita. Yes, that Jita. For new players, Jita is New Eden's busiest and biggest market hub. In addition to being able to find just about anything your heart or ship could desire, local is basically the Mos Eisley Cantina, and every other message is a potential scam. We keep a low profile, flying light and watching for trouble. Who knows, maybe someone thought to gank me on site for the fun of it. An important note for any Ironman: NPC buy and sell orders in any station, but especially in Jita, always have an expiration date of over 90 days. Anything shorter than 90 days, that is a player order. Knowing the difference can save your Ironman. I have to be extra careful because I have such muscle memory of just going buy. We make our purchases quickly, get out quickly, and head back to point in. With our capacitor flux coil and a couple rigs in the oven, we continue missions. One of them has a bugged objective. We're actually forced to forfeit the mission. With one bug report later and more loyalty points in hand, we grab more implants to melt down for Zydrine and Megasite. Still, not a long-term solution, but it keeps our production moving since we don't need high quantities at this stage. With a fresh day ahead, we mine Plagia class for some dailies and do more missions. I then stop and do some math on the Enforcer path. If I stop level 1 missions and go straight for completing an epic arc, we can finish the entire Enforcer career path at the same time as we complete the Sisters of Eve epic arc. I personally think this would be a cool way to end off such a career path. We modify our Cormorant for higher DPS, produce uranium ammo, and we set off to take on the epic arc. Our destination, Arnon, home of the 52-part epic arc, The Bloodstained Stars. The Bloodstained Stars is an introductory epic arc in EVE, introducing and exposing players to the different empires of New Eden and various mission types, although mostly just shooting. It was introduced around 2009 when the Apocrypha expansion was released, bringing with it wormholes, mysterious sleeper drones, and Tech 3 cruisers. It serves to introduce players and get them intrigued about what's hidden out in the depths of space. And here we are in Arnon. Here's where we will be starting the Sisters of Eve epic arc. The arc kicks off with a simple call from Sister Alitera. A distress beacon has been picked up. We're tasked with locating a missing ship called the Damsel. This innocent rescue spirals into a massive journey. When we get there, Concord had already rescued the survivors, but our sensors show the ship wasn't attacked from the outside. We need to go on a journey to collect the former crew of the Damsel and piece together this puzzle. We talk to an undercover Concord agent who originally rescued the crew and help us figure out where the crew had dispersed to. They sure spread out fast after being rescued, taking on new jobs or getting kidnapped immediately after being rescued by Concord. In the meantime, he has us go after Blood Raiders, who are scavenging the wreckage of where the Damsel was. collecting a strange data core in the process that our agent is interested in. We learn where one crew member, Red, went, and he is on a lightly defended convoy. With the Blood Raiders in the area, it won't be long before they become targeted. We arrive too late, and most of the convoy has already been turned into jerky, evident by Red's body that we recover. Sister Alitura gives us details on the janitor, so we head off to collect him from the Serpentis.
We'd get our first PvP kill by killing that catalyst, but we would probably be in more trouble.
He gives us clues on where the next crew member is, the chef. When we approach, rogue drones appear, and due to us needing the potential salvage goods, I take them on.
I'm not going to say no to rogue drone loot.
Sister Alitura is intrigued by their presence, but beyond that doesn't say much else. She's able to track down where the doctor is, by way of a ransom note. And we deliver the ransom money to free the doctor from the kidnappers.
Oh. A lot of money.
Who decide to try and kidnap us?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work out very well for you.
It doesn't work out for them.
Salvage time.
Pizza time.
Finally, we learn the whereabouts of the engineer, who had an encounter with the rogue drones and is currently without power. This survivor is key to this puzzle, and we need to get her. Although I do forget to record most of the mission until it's mostly over.
Oh, I forgot to... There we go. Now we can go to the location.
With all the crew collected and brought to Sister Alitura, we get information for the next leg of our journey. The strange data core seems to be drone tech, so we need someone familiar with drone technology to assist us. And who else is better than the Galente Federation?
Here we go. We're heading off to Every Shore.
We meet with one of the sisters' contacts at Creodron.
And here we are, the next leg in our epic arc.
And they've lost all contact with every drone inside of a nearby solar system, which means either they were all destroyed or something else happened.
All right, so we need to get corrupted drone components. Making very good progress.
We collect corrupted drone components from surprisingly docile rogue drones and return after blowing them up.
There we go.
We disrupt Serpentis drug activities and plan to steal back some stolen data, being a data core from a leading drone researcher who was researching oddities in drone behavior. When we arrive and defeat the Serpentis guards,
I'm gonna wait until the frigates kind of gather closer around me so I can salvage the wrecks.
The transport diverts to a secondary location where it is intercepted by the Angel Cartel. So we have to steal the data that was stolen again, and stolen from us.
Let's see if I can get them to group up with me so that way I can more effectively salvage them. There we go. That's all we need, I think. Yep.
After we recover the data core, it shows that some other kind of drone is corrupting regular drones.
There we go.
There's a hidden friendship between this Galente agent and a Caldari agent who reportedly is encountering the same drone issues we are having. So we go over there to deliver some information and see what kind of data we can corroborate. We find out the situation in Caldari's face is much worse than feared, with full drone hives being constructed by rogue drones. And all the Caldari can do is to try and prevent the spread. Navy Command can't respond directly with the force they have available. So we're tasked with eliminating the nearby Caristas to free up their forces.
Destroy all enemies in the vicinity. Leave nothing behind. Let's see what dropped. We are getting quite a bit of backup ammunition.
We're able to muster enough forces to deal with the hive directly and wipe it out.
We are making good progress on this.
we're nearly done with chapter 3 of 7. So not quite the halfway point, but getting there. I think this is going to be one of the ones where I just let loose. Target as much as I can and let loose. These should be within my range, yeah. Alright, we used up all of our tungsten regular ammo, which that is fine by me. And then we will load up antimatter for these 5. And then let's burn upwards so we build some transversal. Let's stock up. We are going to need to go get restocked on our uranium ammo here soon. And our home is 10 jumps away. So being as close as we are, before we get too crazy, we might as well divert home so we can restock on our ammunition. Yeah, that's taking me all the way back to the Sisters of Eve headquarters. So we've accepted the mission. We are heading home first. We even got the exploration reward for visit a high-sec system in 5 different regions. So part of advanced navigation. Home sweet home. We've been away for a couple hours. It's time to restock, resupply, go touch grass. Oh. I kidnapped scientists that we don't need. Oops. Okay. Let's take a break. Okay, a lot longer than 10 minutes have gone by. We now have 9,000 charges for uranium. So I'm going to carry that, 5,000 units of antimatter, and we are going to go ahead and get back on track with the expert system expired. In 16 minutes, we'll be able to use this. And then once that's online, we'll be fine. We will be fine. By the time we are back in Arnon. Back in Arnon, we rescue humanitarian staff that are being harassed by rogue drones.
Why were they just watching me? Watching. Waiting.
Menacingly!
Let's keep it moving. And after sharing that a mysterious other drone is at work, one of the other sisters managed to locate, photograph, and collect scans of the drone before it disappeared again. She's doing missionary work in Garista space, however, and can't broadcast the data. So she leaves it in a dead drop and we go pick it up and take it back to Sister Alitura.
Now we need to go back to Arnon. Back again. Back in Arnon. Back again. Tell a friend. Like and subscribe. Heck of a time for me to start my Ironman with this persistent fucking cough.
By reviewing the data, we find similar data has been shared by a Scope reporter who is currently in a Mordu's Legion's outpost and is willing to sell us the data if we extract him, since he thinks they're planning to kill him. Alternatively, a Caldari mercenary claims he has developed a formula for scanning and tracking down the drone.
What we're going to do is we are going to do Bag of Blood. Bag of Blood is more Caldari oriented.
We choose to get the help from Wolf Bergen, the Caldari mercenary. The problem is, the Serpentists want him dead, so we have to clone a body for him and drop it somewhere with explosives to make the Galente drug cartel think he's already been dealt with.
There's more scientists. Have fun, guys. I will remember to send someone for you.
After securing his help, he tags along to help us track the mysterious drone. Did that just... did it do that? Follow it! When we find it, it opens a wormhole to escape from us, but we pursue through the rift. Oh, that's a sleeper drone. Getting closer and closer until it's gone. We have to start our search from scratch. I'm getting tired at this point, but I press on. One more mission for the night. I can do this. With Bergen directing us remotely this time, he finds the mysterious drone again. All right, there's the mysterious drone again. This time it is surrounded by a fledgling nest of rogue drones, and it retreats further in as we chase it. I don't think rogue drones drop any loot, so I'm actually going to ignore these ones, strangely enough as that is. Yeah. I'm just gonna tank it and go. If I took the time to salvage these, yeah, but I've salvaged a lot of the rogue drone kind. That is a lot of drones. I am seeing the finish line when it happens. Just before I'm able to use the acceleration gate to the next pocket, I'm warp disrupted. At first, I don't see it, and I think I need to clear up the pocket. Oh, I actually have to clear these rats? But no, I'm unable to leave. Oh, one of them's scramming me. Helps if I paid attention. Oh, this actually isn't good. This actually is not good. Keep up my transversal on that thing. Keep up my transversal on that thing. This is not good. Oh shit. This is not good. Come on, fucking hit it. Hit it harder than that. Fuck, 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 fuck. No. This is not good. No. No. We just suffered one of our biggest setbacks in the series so far, and it was to rogue drones of all things. There's going to be bigger setbacks in the future, and we need to be prepared for it all. If we can't bounce back from this cormorant loss, we will not be able to log into Lynn Rankin ever again. After the shock faded and I got back to Pointin, we got back to work. Back home. Time to rebuild. I identified what modules we need in order to get rolling again, as well as pick up a new cormorant blueprint. Thankfully, we have enough ISK for it, but we need more pyrite. That should be an easy fix for me, especially since patch day is tomorrow. It brings with it an increase to pyrite yield to scordite, so we will be able to get the necessary amounts of resources we need to get moving. That said, we need Mexlon for other things, so I get started on some pyro to get set. Some of the items that were lost I do not have blueprints for since they were looted off of rats. So I pre-buy some blueprints and I will pick them up tomorrow. With some items in the oven, I call it a night. Let's discuss what happened back there. In the middle of the Sisters of Eve epic arc, I got warp disrupted and webbed by the rogue drones. These are also the only NPCs in the entire epic arc that actually warp disrupt. Ultimately, it was my own complacency that got me killed. Because it was getting late, I was getting tired, I tried to blitz past the mission and just go through the acceleration gate. If I had targeted and taken down the drones to begin with, I probably could have survived. That brings a new personal rule for me. If I start getting tired or complacent, I put down the game. I go touch grass, do something to rest, or recharge. And if I am undocked, I have to be dialed in.
Focus.
The next morning I wake up and patch the game. I put a couple rigs in the oven, and then I hop in my blueprint shuttle to pick up the multi-spectrum shield hardener BPO I bought last night. Today is a new day. We did lose our cormorant and the gear that was on it. If I look at it, the cormorant we got from the career agents, the only real loss in this is time. The guns, salvager, ammo, small shield extender, magnetic field stabilizer, capacitor flux coil, and the rigs. There was the potential resources we could have gathered, But that is the nature of all of this. That's what we signed up for. When I get back to Point In, I get straight to mining some scordite for the pyrite inside. Remember, it was patch day this morning, so I get the advantage of about a 10% increase to pyrite yield in scordite. There we go. One load of massive scordite down. And I'm bouncing off of a rock. I'm just gonna hit every rock in this belt before I warp away. I will see you guys when I have another full cargo hold. Ooh, a Dread Garista. Let's get myself moving just so I have some transversal. Take these guys out for some DPS mitigation. I need to get my light drone operation skill up so I have a bit more DPS. Now take out the wrecker, and let's see what's in the Dread Garista crate box. Just tags and ammo. I swear, if I see a diamond rat, I am booking it. I will let you guys know when I have a full load again. That is another load done. Let's go ahead and loot up the field. So I'm gonna do one more full load of scordite. That should be the last load for right now. That should be enough for what I'm doing. Refine this. That should be more than enough to get us a cormorant in the oven. With enough pyrite to get us our cormorant and the modules we need, I put on some new rigs onto my Merlin and wrap up a air daily goal while the items get built. There we go. And air daily done. 10,000 skill points available. We're gonna get high speed maneuvering. Level 3. Since it's going to take a while for these items to get built, I end up logging off for the day. The next day, I fit up the cormorant with a micro warp drive this time, and I head back out towards Arnon. Someone's trying to get me to fail the challenge. We are back in Arnon. I did some project discovery while we were on the way over, so we do have a skin crate to open. So let's see if we are lucky enough to get one for the cormorant. A Tristan. That's okay. We're back to conquer the rest of the epic arc and finish this enforcer path. I warp back to the site of my defeat and the loss of our cormorant. We don't have to worry about getting scrammed in here. We're gonna save our ammo and time. Recover a little bit of my capacitor. Alright, here we go. So we are looking for the strains. These guys. 22-kilometer lock range. We're gonna slow boat towards them. Stop right here. Maximize our damage. Now we take out the render. I don't care if we're wasting shots. We are going to get as much damage as possible as early on as possible with him. This is the disruptor guy. Come on, come on, come on. Yes! Revenge! With my revenge complete, I enter the last pocket following the mysterious drone. When I get there, a mysterious ship arrives and destroys the drone we've been chasing. There goes the mysterious drone. Apparently he knows something we don't and intends to keep the secret of the drone hidden. I clear out the remaining rogue drones. Yes! We did it! Oh! We came back victorious. We are back on schedule. That was the only mission in the entirety of this epic arc that actually has rats that can disrupt or scram you. The pilot of the mysterious ship is identified as Dagon, a known troublemaker, a rogue capsuleer who was supposed to be dead. and the sisters want him to actually be dead. The sisters track Dagan to Minmatar space and send us to follow behind.
Welcome to heck, people.
Sister Alitura gives us the name of one of her contacts out there and remarks how the Minmatar are not quitters and never leave a job unfinished. We get to Minmatar space where we meet Kita, who sends us to spy on a smuggler base to gauge their strength and help out against them in exchange for information on Dagan. I scratch their back, they scratch mine. The smugglers have a carrier.
Oh dear.
We need to provide the information to Tarak of Republic Fleet, and he has a plan. He is going to have his forces draw away the carrier and a majority of the smugglers by hitting a poorly defended hub nearby. And when they leave, I go in and take out their main base that we were just at.
Here we go, goading the leader.
I agree to the plan and we go off and stand by, waiting for the carrier and most of the ships to leave.
And there's that big fleet again. Hopefully most of them leave. Some of them left. More of them left. Even more of them left.
When they do leave, I strike. I take out the leftover guards, some reinforcements, and then the auxiliary power array. After looting and salvaging the wrecks, maybe salvaging level 4 is coming in handy after all, I go back to Tarak to report that the base has been taken out. When we get back, he tells us his forces just mopped up the last of the smugglers on their end as well, but one of them ran, and Tarak thinks he might know more about who's running this whole smuggling operation. After finding the guy, I take out his guards, and while approaching he tells me he's not going to provide any information or come with me, and he calls me an egger. Is that what NPCs call us?
That's offensive.
I shoot his little hidey hole once, and he decides to come with us. Kita seems to have found something, and it looks to be related to Dagan, so we go back to her for our next mission. When we get there, we have found out where the smuggler leader is, so we head out to deal with Izia Tabar. After goading him out by dealing with his lackeys, he appears and dies rather quickly. With that assassination done, it was hoped that the smugglers would start running. But no, a new leader is in town. It stepped in to take charge. It's at this point we learn that the Minmatar Crucial tribe had infiltrated the smuggling ring, and it turns out Dagan passed through not long ago, so the trail is hot. In order for us to receive this intel, we need to break up this smuggling operation once and for all and take out this new leader.
Should be in range for me to just go pop. And pop. And pop.
After dealing with Mazara and her followers swiftly, I learned that Mazara was Amotar, Minmatar who remain loyal to the Amar. Kita wants us to rub salt in the wound of the Amotar. Meeting Dovrik, they want us to drop off one of Mazara's belongings, a doll, with her family, in exchange for information on Dagan's whereabouts. With that taken care of, we're trusted with the information about Dagan and where to get our next lead. Turns out Mazara was rather close to Dagan, being a tutor under him for years, and they fled off together after Dagan had a falling out with Mazara's father. We're sent to meet Dr. Canius, who introduced the Mazara family to Dagan in the first place. He's our best lead to routing out Dagan. The doctor isn't going to give us the information for free, and being an archaeologist, he wants us to clear out some blood raiders that are continually chasing off him and his team, and recover an artifact that they've been trying to get.
Let's have some fun.
After clearing out the blood raiders for the doctor and raiding the dig site for anything useful, we find a coded document inside. It's written in a Jovian cipher, but the doctor manages to break the cipher and reveal the information that Dagan is after. It turns out that Dagan is searching for pre-Jovian weapons. Think of the weapon that Empress Sarum used in the Empyrean Age trailer. And there's data traffic leading straight to Dagan's location. We have to put a stop to him before he's able to find these weapons. However, before we are able to figure out where, our access is locked out because of Lord Taphos, Mazara's father. He's issued a trial by combat. It looks like he's also tied to the search for pre-Jovian weapons and may be helping Dagan. So if we're going to get our access back and put this family behind us, he needs to go down. Unfortunately for him, he is in a frigate and dies rather easily.
Know your fucking place, trash.
And we are heading all the way back to Arnon.
With that family line ended, we get contacted by Sister Alitura. We're needed back in Arnon for the last leg of our journey. In addition, with the Jovian cipher we found, it's confirmed that Dagan is a member of the Society of Conscious Thought, inheritors of Jovian knowledge and their errand boys. He is a dangerous man indeed with tech we need to be wary of. After getting our ducks in a row, we deal with some low-level Society spies. They've been remotely listening to our conversations and efforts, so we need to take out their ears. If we don't, a sister spy within the Society will surely be found and killed. After dealing with that threat, our spy within the Society shares a clue. Kritsan Parthas, an independent contractor who recently delivered drone parts to Dagan. We trace his location, and I'm sent to deal with him.
That is a battle cruiser. Antimatter. Let's get in there really quick.
This is going to be a difficult fight, with a cormorant versus a battle cruiser. I load up antimatter for the highest DPS we can muster, and I go after Parthas. But we have a new problem.
And it's nuding me?
He has a high energy neutralizing capability, able to drain our capacitor dry very quickly. So we need to warp in and out while chipping away at him. However, he's armor tanked, so we have to be able to deal enough damage in a short amount of time to get him into hull, warp out, warp back in, and continue beating on him.
Phrasing?
A little bit more. Do some hull damage. Okay, gotta get out.
There's no threat of warp disruption, so we just have to move quickly so his armor and shields don't regenerate a lot. After going in and out about 3 times...
Hey, phrasing!
Come on. There we go.
I managed to take him down.
Anything good? Ooh. That is some stuff. We got a smart bomb. That is a lot of reprocessed material. Oh my gosh. All that Noxium. Oh, that is wonderful.
When meeting back with Sister Alitura, we have a choice to make. All 4 empires have gathered to help us collect Dagan, so he can be put behind bars, but so they can also interrogate him for all he knows. It also sounds like Dagan knows we're coming and has hired guards, so we need to pick allies to help us in the fight. And I choose the Caldari since we're Caldari men ourselves. We get our mission, destroy Dagan's ship and capture him alive.
Have fun storming the castle!
The Caldari already have ships engaging him and his forces, but Dagan is in a Gnosis battle cruiser and is evading fire. It's up to us to take him out. When we get there, the Caldari forces are already at the end of their ropes and taken out shortly after we arrive. I take out the remaining frigates.
Alright, we're switching to antimatter. We are going to pound him.
And then focus solely on Dagan. I get in close and start bearing down on Dagan. The whole epic arc has led up to this fight. I unload as much antimatter into him as we can, but he repairs his shields too quickly for us to do anything meaningful to him. And unlike the fight with Parthas, I don't know if I have enough firepower to deal with Dagan.
Do we not have the damage to do this? We don't have the damage to do this.
With the fight going on as long as it is, I'm also running out of capacitor. So I'm having to manage my cap by turning on and off my resistance module. A scary move.
72, nice. Okay, get our hardener back on.
Eventually, after only getting him down to about 60% shields, I have to warp out and jump to a next door system to repair and recharge my capacitor.
Okay, we need to do a reset.
Once I am back in the fight with Dagan, I manage my capacitor much better, getting in and staying close to him so my antimatter does more damage. And as long as I can get him down below 30% shields, I'll surpass his natural regeneration and be able to start pumping in even more damage.
He's getting into 1/3 of shields. $62,
69. Come on. Once we're past the 30% mark, he's going to start falling faster. Okay, we're through his shields. I'm turning my hardener off for a minute. He should not repair any armor, just his shield. So any damage we do here before we warp out is going to be permanent damage to him. After a long fight, lasting literally 10 minutes since I first fired at Dagan, he blows up and I capture him. Yes! We did it. We actually did it on an Ironman account. We have taken on the well-known Sisters of EVE epic arc and defeated its challenges. Bloody and beaten, we were brought low, but we kept going. We just completed our first epic arc with an Ironman character. Now, to finish off the arc, we deliver Dagan to the Sisters of EVE, with the Amar, Caldari, Galente, and Mimitar bearing witness to the prisoner transfer. We get an unexpected surprise. The rogue drones appear.
Hello, motherfucker.
We're instructed not to shoot them or take any hostile action. They are also witnessing the prisoner transfer. Okay, drop Dagon off in there. And just as quickly as they arrived, they're gone. There we go. The Enforcer path is done. 750 points in Enforcer. 200,000 skill points. It's done. The Sisters of EVE epic arc is done, as well as the Enforcer Air career path. Now we get to go home. I will see you all when we are back in Poinen. Oh fuck, I went into low sec by accident. We still have some challenges up ahead for us, but we've made some great progress, and we finished the Enforcer path with a cool ending in my eyes. We are in the final stretch of the Ironman challenge. Honestly, we have been building towards this push since day one, whether we knew it or not. From the earliest building blocks of getting our initial blueprints, finding where resources could be collected, learning our limits and pushing past setbacks, we now have 2 career paths left to complete: Exploration and Soldier of Fortune. Soldier of Fortune is going to be the most difficult challenge we've ever faced in this series. I just did not fully comprehend how big the disadvantage we were going to be at. While I formulate a plan on how to tackle this wide gap, I'm going to first clear the exploration path. It should be relatively easy for us to get this out of the way and a nice change of pace. This is also going to be a nice way for us to collect salvage so we can make an abundance of rigs later on, and that little extra edge is going to help us in the long run. Of course, during the search for relic sites, all I can find are wormholes. And that's a wormhole. Wormhole. Another wormhole. Yeah, this one has to be another wormhole. Yeah, another wormhole. Another wormhole. All right, wormhole. Another wormhole. Another wormhole. Another wormhole. Another wormhole.
I think I'm losing my mind.
Another fucking wormhole. I swear. Another wormhole. Another wormhole. Seriously? After finding so many wormholes and not enough relic sites, I decided to end the night with mining some ore to at least get some industry material we'll need for our PvP push. The next day, I set straight off to trying to find some relic sites so I can hack cannons for the exploration goal, as well as the salvage material I mentioned earlier. Another wormhole. While exploring the area, I end up scanning down a very worthwhile find: a rogue drone asteroid infestation DED combat site. This site contains none other than Amber. It's also not too difficult, and we can certainly clear the site to collect the isogen inside. So I run back to Poinen to grab my cormorant and start clearing most of the site. As long as we leave at least a few of the rogue drones alive, the site won't despawn, and I can mine as much of the Amber as I want. Actually, I'm going to take out all these little drones, because they're getting a little close. Little close for comfort. Clearing out the site was easy. I rush back to get my venture and I start mining some Amber. But when I arrive, Aguila has scanned down and was in the site as well. It was very likely he was going to finish the last few rats and despawn the site. There's literally no reason for you to be in here. The site's cleared, dude. You're wasting your time. So every time I leave to drop off a load of Omber, I need to be very quick to get back so I can keep the site active. The Gila leaves descan after a little bit, so I knew my countdown timer for free Omber had started. A few Garistas arrive, a mechanic I only recently became aware of, something not a lot of players probably know about these days. If you are in a DED site for a long time, eventually pirate NPCs of the local variety, in this case Garistas, will arrive to harass you. So while I'm mining, I need to take care of these NPCs before proceeding. It was at this point I start to think, wow, I've been super lucky that the site hasn't despawned yet. So I mine out the entire Omber asteroid in the first pocket before the site despawned. I went into the second pocket and I mined the smaller Omber asteroids in there. It wouldn't be much, but every little bit counts. When that dried up, I took a peek into the last pocket and, to my surprise, the last drones and all the loot was still there.
Would you look at that?
The Gila must have entered the second pocket, saw all the wrecks, and presumed the whole site had been cleared and left. There was more Omber in the final pocket, and my venture could easily handle the last 2 rogue drones, so I took care of them and wrapped up the site. I also got a faction armor resistance coding module, so this may or may not end up on a future PvP ship, or just be a cool memento. Now, with the site actually finished this time, and it being very late, I fill up my mining hold one last time with Omber and dock up for the night. In total, I ended up with almost 15,000 units of isogen, which should supply us quite well for the rest of the run, and I go to bed. The following day, I head back to Pointen, grab my Batcher, and I go pick up the Omber from the previous adventure. I start building shield rigs for my future PvP ships, and I go pick up blueprints for a warp scrambler, micro warp drive, afterburner, light neutron blasters, light electron blasters, stasis weaponfire, and a small ancillary current router rig. I'm also getting fed up with the mess in my item hire, and I'm sure I've annoyed a lot of you. So I go purchase a station container so I can organize my stuff. I get started manufacturing some items to start filling out my fittings, and while things cook, I do some level 1 missions to kill some time, and now that my station containers are done, I spend some time organizing. While I can't promise things will always be neat and tidy for the rest of this video, it will certainly be better than whatever the current state of my hangar was. After getting organized, I go on another mining trip to get some Jaspet from Lowsec. But what was strange was in the middle of my mining session, the rogue drone rats just decided to entirely ignore me. I don't know what I did other than warping in and out like last time, but all I had to deal with was a pirate cruiser. I did not dare launch my drones in case it changed the behavior of the rogue drones, so I wasn't able to remove the pirate cruiser and needed to still warp in and out. With 1.5 loads of Jaspet, I mined out the first asteroid and needed to switch to another. That change caused the rogue drones to become aggressive again, but after a bit, it was just too little Jaspet for the effort and I decided to pack it in. I got the Jaspet home and I called it a night. I got on next, the exploration career path had just a few more challenges left to go to be completed. One of them being scanning and hacking containers in relic and data sites. Midway into our journey, however, I finally spotted it. A Garista lookout. I have been searching for this for several days now, since it is a combat site that has Jaspet and Hemmerfight, providing me with Noxium and Isogen. I bookmark it and I start heading towards to pick up my Cormorant when I spot the other thing I was also looking for. Oh my gosh.
Would you look at that?
What's here? What is here? There's just a single procurer. How far away am I from home? An Empire border asteroid field with rare nullsec materials I can't get anywhere else. There was already a mining barge in the site, so I prioritized grabbing my venture instead and started mining. But that adventure is short-lived when a multi-boxer arrives and eats the rest of the belt. At one point, the multi-boxer started to specifically target the asteroids I was mining and chomp them up first. Oh well. We ended up with most of my mining hold with Ytterium and some Deucinium. So we got some Megasite and Isogen. Back to the Garista lookout, I grabbed my Cormorant from Pointen and clean up most of the site, making sure not to finish it. Then I proceeded to mine nearly 15,000 cubic meters worth of Jaspet. Once I had my fill, I finished the Garista lookout with my Cormorant and ended up with 1,800 units of Noxium, 9,600 units of Isogen, and 105 units of Megasite. Not bad at all. Now, after mining these resources, I am just 30 points away from completing the exploration career path, and all I have to do is fly into one low-sec region I have not been to yet. And drum roll. Yeah, that is 3 air career program paths completed. With another 200,000 skill points and a career path done, we are in the home stretch. I am still hurting for some resources, however, and I need an actual source of Zydrain, so I need to go into nullsec for the first time. I get myself a blueprint for a core probe launcher and more core probes, fit it to my venture, and I filament into null. I end up in horde space, and I am terrified every moment that I'm here. Yeah, we've got a... nope.
I'm in danger.
Ow. Okay, what about the medium Arcanor? Okay. We are in business. Let's get to work. I live in nullsec normally. Why am I so stressed? Because I know what can go wrong. I need to calm my nerves and do something. Our log off timer is done. We can safely log out if we need to. Eventually, I'm able to get a full load of Bistot, which should give me enough Zydrain for the rest of the challenge. Now, how do I leave? We have to find a wormhole. If we can find a wormhole in the next 4 jumps, I'm going to be happy. For once, I'm actually hoping for a wormhole. Of course, there's a fucking bubble. Here we go. We're deeper down the chain. High sec! Yes! Yes, 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 yes! Oh, we're in a Mars space. We are 56 jumps from home, but we are in high sec. We are not going through Abazon. I am taking the long way. Yes, 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 yes. Point in. I've never been so happy to see you. Let's reprocess this. 298 units of Zydrain. Now I have my fit. It may not be the best or most efficient or effective, but this is what we have for our upcoming PvP attempts. A Neutron Blaster Merlin with some buffer and intended to get in close and brawl. While the fit is in the oven, I decided to try something absolutely stupid. I found that officer frigates spawn in 0.5 space of the home region of the faction they belong to. So after watching the efforts of another person hunting down officer frigates, it was later I realized he was actually in a cruiser, I decided to ask myself, wouldn't it be cool to get an officer module on an Ironman account? Yeah, I thought that sounded cool too. Too bad it doesn't end that well. I found an island 0.5 star system. A 0.5 system that is entirely surrounded by low sec. I thought this would be a prime location for finding an officer frigate. Too bad it was also in a Cosmos constellation. You see, the entire low sec I've been hanging around in is a Cosmos constellation, a series of star systems that contain mission agents and special combat sites and other activities. It's where storyline modules are most prevalent and faction standings can be raised. I warped into an asteroid belt, except the entire asteroid belt was taken over by a special combat landmark. Crap, 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 run, run, run. Don't fucking bounce, don't fucking bounce, don't fucking bounce. Son of a... Come on, not again. And I promptly lost our second cormorant of the series. Fuck! Unlike our first cormorant loss though, I learned my lesson and I was able to get into an ibis and actually recover the dropped loot this time. So this lessened the sting, and now I have the materials and means to recover quickly from a loss like this. So I only beat myself up a little this time. On the bright side, losing ships is part of the Soldier of Fortune career path as well, so we have that going for us. When returning home with one less destroyer, I take a look at the career path ahead and I see add a new contact. So I just need to add someone as a contact and I'll get 10 points towards the goal. I of course add Lynn Rankin as a contact. I mean, we are working to free her, and it's not like she can do anything else at the moment. So we add her as a contact and go on our way. Back home, I do some math on the Soldier of Fortune path to determine what activities I need to do in order to complete it. And the points are going to be tight on this. And it all hinges on a single mission: joining a corporation. Remember, this entire time I have to be in an NPC corporation. And I know that if you are in a NPC corporation and you join faction warfare, it changes you to a different NPC corporation. However, we don't know if joining this new NPC corporation will count towards the goal, or if it intends for us to join a player corporation. If this doesn't work, we're going to be in trouble.
And it fucking counts! Yes!
But thankfully, by joining the Caldari state as our home for faction warfare, it counts. We still have an upward grind, but we are continuing to make progress. I count up points, and this is what we need to do in order to complete this Soldier of Fortune career path. We need to warp disrupt another player for 5 combined minutes. Warp scram another player for 5 combined minutes. Webify another player for 5 combined minutes. Weapon disrupt another player for 5 combined minutes. Target paint another player for 5 combined minutes. And that's not all.
No!
We need to deliver the final blow on 5 total player ships, not including capsules or corvettes. We need to capture and defend 2 different faction complexes. Complete a level 1 faction warfare mission. Drain 250 gigajoules of capacitor. Neutralize 2,000 gigajoules of capacitor. Lose 20 ships, and challenge another player to a duel. If we're not able to do one or more of these items, we are in for a world of hurt and a lot more time spent. With our goals set, I set off manufacturing more of our Merlin fits, distracting myself with dailies and resource gathering between manufacturing jobs. I decide, since we are rebuilding our cormorant, to do something a little experimental, a hull-tanked cormorant. And I go collect transverse bulkhead blueprints from Amazon, since these rigs can only be found in Empire NPC space where armor tanking is most prevalent, like Amar or Galente. And Amazon is the closest to us. Grabbing my shuttle, I try to get in and out as quickly as possible.
What the heck is it? What the heck are arcs doing there? I don't like this. I don't like being here. Now we run back to Poinan.
Hello, motherfucker.
And we are through. And I managed to do so. After that excursion, with more items in the oven, I decided to get a couple faction warfare tasks done. So I break out my Merlin and work to capture and defend my first complexes, and maybe take on my first level 1 faction warfare mission, which has me going 15 jumps deep into Galente's back line. Hopefully no one will notice me or disturb me, given that once I start a mission, anyone can warp to me in it. Thankfully, I'm able to remove Galente supply ships from attempting to reactivate an old and damaged Stargate, undisturbed. Feeling rather confident, I decide to test my Merlin fit against an opponent for the first time.
Oh, I'm taking more damage than I'm dealing. Manually pilot this thing. It's gonna be close.
This is when I'm reminded how big of a gap I am at a disadvantage of between Tech 1 and Tech 2 gear. There's simply better base values and more skills to apply extra damage bonuses to. So this is going to be an upward battle I don't know if I'm quite prepared for, and I'm learning solo PvP for the first time. I may need to be more picky with my fights in faction warfare. Back in Poinan, I set myself up with another Merlin, with a small ancillary shield booster fit, to go find a less risky target in faction warfare. This is when I find a Federation Navy Comet in a complex on D-Scan. I know I can't take it on by myself, but a friendly Tormentor arrives. And without a single word, and simply trusting that we'd go in together without communicating, we both slide and take on the Fed Navy Comet. The Comet is already at range, not good for us, but the Tormentor burns in to close the gap, and I follow as best as I can, but my Afterburner can't keep up. The Comet determines the Tormentor is a bigger threat and sends its drones after it. I turn and burn to meet those drones and try to focus them down and take heat off my impromptu faction warfare friend, but I wasn't able to properly deal with them, and I tunnel vision on the drones. I should have burned for the Comet to hold it down and pound on it while it was focused on the Tormentor. Sadly, the Tormentor went down and the Comet planned to burn into me and hold me down for his drones. I wouldn't be able to hold up against it and I had to retreat. After capturing a few more faction warfare complexes, I end up facing another Federation Navy Comet and got a potent reminder that I can't brawl these on my own. Grabbing one of my buffer Merlins, since I was now without an ancillary shield booster, I head back out, determined to keep going. It's here that I end up taking out a few autopiloting capsules as some sort of consolation prize, hoping to wash off the skunk and break the bad luck streak. Without finding any more targets of opportunity and avoiding the level 5 insurgency systems, I head back to Point N to get my new PvP fit Cormorant. And I lose it to a Merlin. I have to seriously start rethinking my strategy. This is not working. With another Cormorant in the oven, with a neutralizing FU fit, I try one more time to get a kill with my buffer Merlin fit, this time trying to hunt near my local low-sec pocket. While I'm hunting in low-sec, I consider an alternative. I decide to switch things up. If Blasters is too close range and doesn't offer enough control, and I need more control, I would need something fast, with range, and able to have some level of control. It would require almost a week's worth of skill training to get it done, but I decided I needed to switch to a Condor. I purchased the blueprints I need and I get started on making this a reality. While that is in progress, my neutralizing Cormorant is ready to go, and I head straight for faction warfare space, so I'm not idle. And I lose it immediately because when I warp to a faction warfare site, a Caldari Navy hookbill is waiting and closes the gap on me before I can warp out. I think I'm finished with Cormorants for right now. I get started on mining, ratting, and salvaging to get materials for all the rigs I would be putting together and modules I would be making for the Condors. I decide to try one last time with the Merlin. I go into Horde space to see if I can catch any mining ships, but I get bubbled and I misjudge a fight. As a result of that fight, I had lost enough ships that I was rewarded with a Condor. So at least that is one less Condor I need to build. With my first Condor off the production line and fully fitted, I use a friendly complex to practice maneuvers and preset orbits so I can go into my first fight with confidence, and practicing to try and minimize transversal velocity. My wife told me I was overthinking it and just needed to outrun the bullets, so I guess she understands the concept. After not finding any fights for almost a half hour, I find a lone Tristan that had barely killed anything on Z Killboard, at least until he encountered me. Back to manufacturing I go. I take another Condor out and I start hunting away from faction warfare, trying to find targets of opportunity. But it's mostly empty or nearly uncatchable ships. I head back to faction warfare space, feeling demoralized, and then feeling even more demoralized when I can't find anything there either. I do a lot of searching in and around faction warfare space. I've gotten myself spooked, and I won't take any fight I don't think I can win. I feel low, the lowest I've felt in this Ironman. The difference between Tech 2 and Tech 1 is so apparent, it seems nearly impossible for me. That's when I spot my best opportunity yet. A pirate faction warfare player in a Merlin, autopiloting back to the Garista home space in Venal. I chase him into nullsec, staying with him every step of the way. He is truly AFK and autopiloting. But after chasing him for 20 minutes, greed gets a hold of me. And instead of waiting for an opportunity to catch him on the other side of a gate, I engage him as he's approaching to the gate. I take out his shields, but he jumps through. And now being 60 seconds behind him, I won't catch up at all. I get chased down and dodge a malediction in Venal. Then I make my way home, taking out another capsule to feel good about myself even a little. In frat space, I hang out near Anzablex jump gates to try and intercept incoming traffic, but no dice, and I return home empty-handed yet again. I decide to switch up my strategy, and I go to Jita to try and challenge people to a duel, and at least participate in some duels. But no one is interested in dueling even a little frigate. So I head back towards frat space and try camping Anzablexis again, and I nearly die to an Ishtar. But I don't die this time, thankfully.
Progress.
After repairing in an NPC station, I go back into frat space to try and hunt a little deeper, but a gang and their interdictor are waiting for me on the other side of the gate.
I'm in danger!
The interdictor bubble goes up and doesn't encompass my side of the gate, and I'm able to warp away, create a safe, and safely log off in space and wait them out. After logging back in, I return to Onamon safely. After taking the shipcaster, I find a Federation Navy Comet. Despite my prior experiences, I think I can mitigate the Comet's blasters while I take on its drones, but I'm too slow on the trigger and die almost immediately. The Condor that had survived going into nullsec 3 times, getting chased down by a malediction, and dodged the gate camp was gone. I want to make this work, so I go at it again. This time I try filamenting out into a random nullsec system and find targets of opportunity. I end up catching a squall. I get through most of its shields and then it just warps away since it knew it could get away from me the entire time and chose to toy with me. Well played. A confessor catches me and sends me back to Poinin. I'm now actually at my lowest when I can't even take out a hauler. Maybe I was being too greedy, maybe I wasn't doing the right moves or employing the right strategies. I'm mostly trying to figure out solo PvP for myself without any outside assistance, and being on an Ironman, this just makes the learning curve even steeper. That's why I decide to throw honor out the window. If I can't take on 1v1 fights in my current state, I'm going to become the bully. I look for the most vulnerable target I can think of, that's easy to spot and get to, and can't fight back. Venture Sinos. Specifically, Venture Sinos that are on a Citadel, since I forgot how much damage low-sec station guns can put out. With my map filtered to show sinosaural fields in the area, and the map nearly updates in real time when a sino is lit, I scan for targets within a 10-jump radius of me, and I start hitting these defenseless ships left, right, and center. Yes! We got our first kill! Yes! Yes, 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 yes! Hehehe. My second kill. All right, kill number 3. I just need to kill one more venture. Yes! We got all 5 kills! We got all 5 kills! I did it. I got 5 kills on an Ironman character. I also unlocked the final overall milestone, getting me an additional 250,000 skill points. I wasn't done yet, but I finally had a path that let me see the light at the end of the tunnel. I just needed to find a few more industrial sinos to farm capacitor warfare and ECM goals. And then I need to lose a total of 20 ships to finish the Ironman off. I go bully some more venture sinos, with the intent to take them out at the end, but by the time I was done farming the ECM goals, their sino was done and they'd be able to dock. After a quick refit on my Condor, I end up finding a sino sigil to farm the rest of my capacitor warfare goals on. With all those goals done, it was just time to lose 6 more ships. I was not going to just let someone kill me 6 times. I was going to try and go down swinging to take down someone with me. So I set up my last manufacturing jobs to construct buffer Merlins and Condors to finish off this Ironman. After losing a fight to a Republic Fleet Firetail, I actually end up finding someone along the way who was a watcher of the series. At first, he didn't want to fight me because he thought it would be unfair.
Hey, Joey, do you want to eat me?
No thanks, Mr. Muffin.
But I want to die.
Since he was in a Imperial Navy Slicer and I was in a Merlin, but this is EVE. You literally never know what might happen. He also didn't know I was trying to lose ships at this point. And I did try to catch him, but hey, he got me. Good fight, Wolf Runner. Thank you for watching the series, and I hope to run into you again in the future. I set back up and I go again. I have 4 losses left to go. This time I decide to hunt deep in the Galente back line, and I find and actually catch a legitimate venture. Not a Sino venture, a regular venture.
They're the same picture.
Okay, I'm the villain. It also dropped the only Tech 2 gear I've ever seen on this Ironman. And based on the comments in the last video, nearly everyone said I am allowed to keep what I kill. Like Riddick. The logic being, they're not trying to help me. With that bit of boost to my confidence, I find a Tristan and die. 3 losses left to go. I set up another Merlin and decided to switch my plan up a little and try to catch a venture in my old stomping grounds in Caldari. And I'm actually doing not too bad of a job of taking out drones. The DPS was almost mitigated until a Kestrel came in and finished the job.
Somebody kill me!
2 losses left to go. I filament to Paragon Soul and I try to take out a Dracaris Ishtar and get blapped. 1 loss left to go. Before I get into the final ship loss that ends this entire run and frees my main character again because the air career program will be complete, why did I do this? Why did I do this in the first place with this challenge? There's a few reasons for this, but the one that drove me the most was the love I had for this game. I can safely say that I've gained a new appreciation for the player market in the game. I was burning out with the game. And very surprisingly, with this masochistic challenge, it was just the right medicine for me personally. I encountered and found game mechanics that have probably been lost by many people. Found ways to get resources in unexpected ways. I challenged myself and overcame it. But I have a more important reason for all of this. You, the viewer, and I literally do not mean this in a corny way. The EVE veteran who's on a break from the game and still keeping up by watching these videos. The new bro who is struggling with mechanics for the first time and overcoming their own set of challenges. And the person who is not quite sure if they're ready to take the plunge into this game yet. I had a simple, hidden goal this entire time with this series. If I can play EVE Online with these ridiculous rules and set of restrictions and still have fun while doing it, you can have fun too when you're not faced with these restrictions. Or maybe you're just as masochistic as me and you want some inspiration. Normally this would be where I would say, come join Slow, use my recruitment link, and while a selfish part of me will indeed say that and leave this in, a louder part of me just wants to extend an invitation to you to join us in this game of EVE Online, no matter what group you join, and have fun. I filament to Aquarius, and along the way I visit 1DQ, the former home of Goonswarm, capital of the Imperium. I visited the first Innominate Palace. It recently had a Viking funeral, held in symbolic goodbye for its 8-year history and for its namesake, Innominate. In all my time with Lynn Rankin and other alts, I've never made it out to 1DQ in my nearly 14 years of playing EVE, and here I am, after the goons have gone. Now I get to see this with Mainless Mike before my journey ends. I end up finding an initiative bot, farming Blood Raider belts nearby. And I yet again, as par for the course, don't focus my priority correctly and don't manage to take it out. I try warping back in to focus on the single drone that was out, but I had taken too much damage early in the fight and fell. With that, the challenge is complete. I have not touched the player market or traded a single ISK or item with another player. No help, no assistance. Lynn Rankin is back. Her skill queue is going again. I have a new appreciation for EVE Online and its many systems and styles of play. I'll be keeping Mainless Mike as pure as I can, not trading on the player side of the market at all to keep its Ironman status. Like I mentioned in a previous episode, I have other ideas for Ironman challenges in the future, even more masochistic than this one. I just want to say to everyone who has watched this series, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and by the way, someone in Esoteria said hello to Mainless Mike as well, and it was great meeting you too. Roll the credits.
Show.